They sold us a bill of goods, people. I'm telling you right now, they sold us a bill of goods and thought people would forget what they initially said. It's crazy. They said it. They told us what they were gonna do. They said it would be like this, and now the rules are out. The information has finally been released 2 days before or 3 days before the first game. The tip is Friday for Unrivaled, and now we finally have the rules 3 days before this thing tips off. Why? So we can't really brutalize this form of basketball. And I'm going to look at these rules and I'm going to go over them because I remember what was said when they said it. And now it's not what they said it would be. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, where we talk facts over feelings. Powered by Coming Out of the Podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy the content. Please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. For those of you returning, I appreciate y'all. Come on for coming back. Thank you. Leave a comment, like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. And I will remind you, as I have in the last couple of videos, we are dropping merch this week. And proceeds will be going to California fire victims. I have a cousin that lives out in Sherman Oaks, California, in LA. And while she has not lost her home, she has people that she knows who have lost their homes. And the industry, she is actually in the media industry, and she knows a number of people that have lost homes. It's a big tragedy. I'm going to be working things out with her to get money to people who need it on the ground. So proceeds from purchase of merch, t-shirts, Rudy's Rant, Combat Corner, Come Out Now the podcast, will go to California fire victims for the month of January. So any purchase between now and January 31st, there will be proceeds going to California fire victims. So I greatly appreciate you supporting this and helping these people out there because it's a major tragedy what they're all going through. Let's talk about this Unrivaled deal because it's here. It's finally here. We're here Friday. It's Friday, people. And we just got the rules. And they were telling us how it would be a sped up pace of basketball. And it would be 10-minute. If you recall, I remember it. They said it would be 10-minute quarters, just like the WNBA, with the exception being it would be a smaller, condensed, full court 3-on-3. Beyond that, they did not say. They said they had to finish the game in an hour, and now I'm seeing what they've done to adjust that. I have a feeling that that TNT was involved in this in making these changes. So right here, it says instead of 4 10-minute quarters like the WNBA uses, which they said this would be. They said this would be 4 10-minute quarters initially. I know they did because I read it. It was on their website. It was on the website. Remember, we're asking the question when they shoot free throws: is the clock going to run? Is this a 10-minute running clock? What is this going to be? And we have some answers. So it's not going to be 4 10-minute quarters. It's going to be 3 7-minute quarters, followed by the fourth quarter being the Elam Ending. For those of you who don't know what the Elam Ending is, it's used in the basketball tournament. It was used in the NBA All-Star game for a minute, a couple of years. The Elam Ending is you have a score, so it's 50-50 or 60-50, and they're going to add 11 points to the leading team's score after 3 quarters, which means if you're up 60-50, you have the first team to 71 will win. Obviously, if the team with 50, it's much tougher. And the way they see this, it keeps the pace. But I can tell you what it also does. And they're going to probably come back and maybe not like what they've done. And the reason I say this is if you watch the NBA All-Star game, when they did this Elam Ending, you saw the game get really, for a couple of years, it got really physical. I mean, there was a point where, they were banging it. They were fouling the freaking hell out of each other. And obviously they didn't like that, so they went back to these soft stuff. But To me, they should have been doing Elam Endings every quarter and then doing the NBA All-Star game, which would have made it actually a little bit competitive. But the NBA All-Star game is another story for the day. I have concerns that you're going to have a lot of women just hacking the crap out of each other. And while you might say, they don't want to look like gimmick basketball, well, 3-on-3 full court is a gimmick. You can call it what you want. 3-on-3 full court basketball is an absolute gimmick. So you creating an Elam Ending and it's untimed. I mean, you're supposed to fit this in this 1 hour window, right? I still don't see whether or not it's 7 minutes stop clock or 7 minutes running clock. I'm going to presume it's stop clock. So what happens if you run late? What happens if obviously they're going to extend it? So overtime's not a possibility because of this. But now they're also talking about the shot clock to speed up the game. The shot clock in the WNBA is 24 seconds. In my mind, the way you speed up the game is you make this shot clock no more than 15. And I would even venture to say 12. You want a fast game? No more than 15. They have it at 18 seconds. How does that speed up the game? How does that really speed up the game? I want you to think about this for a second. 94-foot court, you have 10 seconds to get it past half court, and you have a 24-second shot clock. So 94 feet divided by 2 is 47 feet. Yeah, 47 feet each way on each side. And you go from there. And you see that, so it's 24 with 47 feet, but now it's a 70-foot court, so that's 30 feet. Tell me exactly how you speed up the game with an 18-second shot clock on a court that's 24 feet shorter. It doesn't jive. For my basic math calculations, it's literally the same. If you divide it by the foot per second, all that stuff, it's basically the exact same thing. You're not speeding the game up with this. Speeding the game up would be 15 seconds. Speeding the game up would be 12 seconds. 12-second shot clocks would speed up the game. And I'm going to tell you what I've been seeing on these clips of practice. I'm seeing basic WNBA basketball in 3-on-3 setting. Don't believe me? Take a look. So here, let's take a look at an example. Free throw. Dribble. Pick and roll. Low. Stand up. Pick and roll. Slow. All that for a bad chance. Okay. That's not up and down pace. That's WNBA basketball with 3-on-3. I'll show you another one. Here you go. Some more pick and roll basketball. What I want you to see from that is that the shot clock was at 4. Understand that dribbling the ball up and down the floor on a 24-second shot clock, the shot clock probably would have been about 4 there as well. So we shall see. I'm gonna show you a few more clips. This is a practice game they had. Why they're having a practice game, I really don't know. Like they're having a preseason. Like who thought, why are they to get accustomed and acclimated, I guess, but do you really need a practice season, a preseason for this? Let's continue. But yeah, that is a concern of mine, and I'm gonna tell you what I want to see. What I want to see is nonstop pace. I want to see nonstop tempo, and in a 7-minute quarter, that's what you better be seeing. It's nonstop tempo, like that. There should never be walking the ball up the floor. There should I don't pick and roll. I mean, do you guys not know how to move without a pick and roll? And like people don't set pick and roll in the park. They don't set pick and roll at LA Fitness. They just go. They don't know each other, so they're not. Pick and roll is like it's just such basic ball. Like don't sit here and tell me that's not basic. That's what I just don't want to hear is that's not basic basketball. That's really basic basketball. But going back into the rules of this thing, let's continue. And I'm just going to share the screen that I'm looking at on this because this is from CBS where I'm reading it. So yeah, they're saying that, and then fouls. So you're going to give 6 personal fouls in a 21-minute game. In a 21-minute game, you're going to give 6 personal fouls. That just seems to be that just seems a bit much. 6 personal fouls. You got 6 players on each team. It's a 3-on-3 in 21 minutes of basketball. You get 6 in 40 minutes of basketball. You're going to give these women 6 fouls in 21 minutes of ball? I'm going to be real. I don't want to see defense in this shit. I don't want there to be any focus on defending in this. I want to see the skill sets of these women. This to me is a league of development of skill set. This will never be a league that overtakes the WNBA. Ever. It will never be that. So anyone thinking that, you're crazy. This is a thing to do in the offseason so they don't have to fly to China or Turkey or France or Spain or whatever country it might be. I don't think anyone's ever flying to Russia again because of what happened with Brittany Griner. So I think this should be something that's utilized to improve your offense, your skill sets. This should be a showcase of skills, not I'd be able to say a showcase of skills, not a showcase of wills, but meaning physical defense. I don't want to see all that. I want to see this stuff up and down, up and down, up and down. Not walking the ball. Pick and roll is nonsense. You should be able to hit someone streaking down the floor after a made basket for a layup. But we'll see. I'm sure for every pass we see like that, we'll see 20 pick and rolls. That's why I think the shot clock should be 12 to 15 seconds, not 18. 18 is just 18 on a 70-foot court is no different than 24 on a 94-foot court. And you'll foul out. They foul out after accumulating 6 personal fouls. If the player is fouled on a 2-point shot, it's 1 free throw and it's worth 2 points. Even more reason you shouldn't have 6 fouls. Because to give people 2 points on a free throw, are they going to stop the clock during the free throw? I'm guessing. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep reading here. I'm not sure. And if it's a 3, you get 1 free throw for 3 points. If anyone fouls someone shooting a 3, they should be smacked. So, my concern for that is you're going to see a lot of players trying to bait fouls on 3s and like pump fake, hit someone in the air and jump into them so they can just go shoot 1 free throw for a 3-point play, 3-point shot. There will be and 1 situations with a lone free throw still worth 1 point. Season lasts 9 weeks, including the playoffs. There are 2 games each night. Okay, we already know this stuff. I don't care about their pay. The average player salary is $22,000. Where is? Let me find the rest of the rules. So I know there's more rules than this. It's just, yeah. Let me find the rest of the rules. I know there's more than this. So I'm finding it on ESPN now. So yeah, if you fouled out and there's only 3 players available and one of them picks up her 6th foul, the player remains in the game, but incurs a technical foul for each additional foul she commits. Each tech will be 1 shot for 1 point. You know that if it's 5-on-5 in the NBA and someone fouls out, it becomes 5-on-4. Why would you allow that player to stay in the game? You should move it to where it's 3-on-2. You have 6 players. If they have 3-4 players foul out of a game, if they got 4 players foul out of a game, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. That is insane. If 4 players foul out of a game in Unrivaled, with a 21-minute game time, plus 11 points in the 4th quarter for an Elam Ending, we are in trouble. That will be a slow game. really, really slow. And that's basically the rules. Like, they don't have a whole lot on here. They want it to be about basketball. You're playing to a score, which is honestly the pure. I don't know how playing to a score is honestly the purest form of basketball. When you played as a kid, no one played to 10 minutes when they were playing pickup. You throw a number out there and you played to it until someone hit a game winner. Okay, but that's not organized basketball. I understand that when you're playing one-on-one with your friend, you play to 11 or 7 or 15 or 21, but that's not organized basketball. That's not a team sport. When you play at the LA Fitness or at the park, again, this isn't organized basketball. Any organized basketball league, there's a clock. There is a clock. Based on the fact it's 3-on-3, you should have a fast moving game at all times, which is why I would have a lot less than 6 fouls per player. Because if you have 6 fouls per player, you got a potential 30 fouls per game. 30 fouls per game in a 21-minute stretch plus 11 points. That doesn't actually make a game faster. It makes it slower. Because if you actually, let's say for example, if you do something like having 3 fouls per player, let's say 4. Let's say 4. 4 per player, you're less like I'm gonna screw that. 3. 3 fouls per player. If you can't play basketball without fouling, then you shouldn't play basketball. If you don't know how to shuffle your feet without fouling, you shouldn't be a basketball player. These are all professional basketball players. I expect them to have the ability to defend without fouling every other possession. I don't want to see free throws in a 21-minute game. I don't want to see free throws in this. I want to see them play ball. I want to see them up and down the floor. And if you think this works, I mean, hey, that's your opinion. I don't like these types of rules. I think they could have. The way you ensure speed is you make the shot clocks much shorter. 18 is too long. But again, you told us to be 10-minute quarters for 4 quarters, and that's not true. Which I think is big in itself because, folks, 7-minute quarters, we're gonna have high school score basketball games. Like, we're gonna have high school score basketball games where they play 32 minutes. In fact, high school scores will be more than these games. You're gonna have a lot of games in the 40s. Real talk. You're gonna have a lot of games in the 40s. You're gonna have 10-point quarters. 7 minutes, you're gonna have a lot of 10-point quarters. You have the WNBA teams are averaging 80 points a game on average in 10-minute quarters, 40-minute games. This is half that. This is half that plus 11. Yeah, I have a feeling you're gonna have a lot of games in the 40s and 50s, and you're gonna have a lot of low shooting with all the fouls. Yeah, I think the fouling component is just too many fouls. It's just way too many fouls. I it starts Friday. It starts Friday. I will watch. I'm probably gonna be doing a live with Ben Daniel for this because I think the first night will certainly be something to see, and you will get a good idea on whether or not it's something you're gonna actually want to watch again. Because right now we have no idea what we're gonna be looking at. I know if I'm watching a lot of pick and roll basketball, I'm not gonna watch it again. I'll look for clips and I'll talk about it off clips, or maybe I'll hear. It will not be calendared TV for me. And maybe that's a problem for some people, but I'm not going to be calendaring my freaking Friday, Saturday, and Monday on Unrivaled to watch these games on television if I'm watching pick and roll basketball. That's not interesting basketball to me. That's not for this. Not for this. But anyhow, that's all I got on this video. We will see what it looks like. I hope it's exciting. I hope it's fun. I hope it's something I want to watch again. But from the practice videos I've seen, from the little clips that I've seen, I'm looking at a lot of slow basketball, and it's not what they said it would be. 4 quarters, 10-minute quarters would be the same as WNBA. They said that at the beginning. This is a way different situation. 21-minute game. Yeah, people are saying this is if they want to say it's pure, hey, for them, make it what it is. Don't sit here and say it's not a gimmick because it's still a gimmick. It's absolutely a gimmick, and we will get a good idea on what's going on. I'm interested to see how these players who play on different teams in the WNBA play together. I already know that there are people that have issue with Lexi Hull and her seemingly buddy relationship with Angel Reese. People are upset about it. I haven't really dug too deep into it because I honestly don't care. Being real, I just don't care. And I think that whatever happens with Satu Sabali, if she gets traded to the Indiana Fever, it will be for Lexi Hull will be in that trade. So I don't think you should get too attached to Lexi Hull or care what Lexi Hull does. Or, I mean, but I don't know what you expect. You expect her to be an asshole to Angel Reese? Like that's not how they're built. You know, Lexi Hall doesn't care. I mean, she might be best friends with freaking Caitlin Clark or one of her best friends, but they're not built that way. They're gonna get along. They're gonna go along and get along. They have no choice. Like what else is she supposed to do, folks? I have no idea. But anyhow, what do you think of these rules? What do you think of the foul counts, the shot clock? I mean, all the different rules they've been put in play. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, this is Rudy's Rant. We talk facts over feelings. I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, follow. Come on now.